All right, so let's get started on 16. 16 seems like there's a lot going on here. First, we're getting in some strings that look like this. They are numbers separated with spaces. It looks like we're going to assume that they are passing in the correct things. And let's see, we're going to split the strings into words and convert the words into integers. And then we're going to multiply the two things. All right, so I'm seeing we're going to use split, map, and zip in here. So let's start with our split function. So I don't know, what is split return supposed to be doing? Am I in the right one? Transform? I don't get quite what. Maybe this, let's see. I don't think we really need this. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Anyways, I'd like to see this thing working. I really wish I put this in here already. Let's put that in there. So we have transform. All right, let's take a look here. All right, so the first thing I need to do is I need to split these things up. So I'm just going to try split one. And what I want to do is let's just try and split, because S1 is going to be a list of a list like this. I want to see. I think split should work. Let's see if I do. Let's see what I'm going to get in split one if I do that. I could also use some debugging in here to do this instead of better than print debugging, but that's okay. All right, so I'm at least getting these all. Okay, good. So that is working appropriately how I expected it to. Split, we're dividing up into parts, same way we'd use in Java. Let's do split 2. Let's do that for this one too. If there's not fancier ways that we can do this, I think that'll be okay. All right, so we have those set as strings. Now, so we can imagine that we have a list like this full of strings. What I need to do is for each one of these, I need to change it into an integer. This is where we can use a map function. So I'm going to say numList1, something like that. And here we're going to do a map function. Map function is going to be made up of two things. On the left side, it's the function that we're using, and on the right side, it's the list that we want to perform this function on. So the list that we want to perform this function on is split 1. The function that we actually want to do, we're actually use a little fancy. We're just going to say int. Int is a function, right? Same way we use like int. We know it's a function because we can do int like 5. We'll convert this string into an integer using the int function. So it's totally appropriate to pass int as a function in here onto split 1 and then get this out as a result. There's something wrong here already, but I just want to show you how you might go about evaluating this. Let me print this. Oh, we're going to need a map object, right? Because this map is going to produce a map object, not a list like we want. So we can just cast this to this. And now we have a set of numbers. All right, we need to repeat that process. We'll say numList2. We'll take the same exact thing. And now we need to split 2. Okay, now I'm curious about it. I feel like we could almost just bring this home without using zip. I can think of a way that we could do this, but let's see. I feel like we could do this without that because we have these two lists full of numbers. What are we really trying to do? We already used map on here. All right, see, I know I can do that. Okay, because I feel like I could run a loop through here and just collect each item off the list, multiply it together, and then add it to a new list. You could also use like a list comprehension here. Number. Oh no, because we still need to loop through. I mean, we could kind of do this, but we want to be able to loop through these kind of two things at the same time. We could use like enumerate or something. All right, let's try the zip thing they want us to do. So let's just say zipped. Let me do this as more steps than I need. List 2. Now, what I want to see is like, all right, for I think this is what I'm going to do for 1 and 2 in zipped. Just see if this works the way I think it's going to work. 1. So I'm always like testing this out. I want to like run the code, see if it works, see if it's doing what I kind of think it's going to do. I think this should work. We're accessing like the 2 elements per list in the zip, per thing in the zip. Let's see what we get here. yeah, so for 1, 2, so this did work. We printed 1, let's say, let's just put these on one line. 1 and 2. So that we can show that they're all partnered together. And you know what? I'm going to put a little line space in here. Yeah, so we got 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 5 and 6, 3 and -1. Okay, I was sure that was going to work, but I did want to just kind of show maybe how I was going to think this out. Okay, so for those two things, because we've basically zipped these together, let's take a look at, and again, you can skip forward if this is good for you. Let us take a look at the contents of zipped here when we run this. So, why is it not? I feel like it's not printing this. Anyways, yeah, so we're getting these 2 elements in here. And then as we do a loop through it, we're like accessing an element in here. Yeah, I think 1 is going to correspond with the first one, 2 is going to correspond with the second one. Let's see, what if I just had, again, this is more just me experimenting. Let's see, like, item. Let's do that. What's going to happen if we were to print item? My theory is that it should print out a tuple. Yeah, it's going to print out a tuple. If I just specify, look for this one thing in here, it's going to say, okay, this one thing, I'll get you each one of these tuples. If I do 1, 2, though, it's going to say for the elements inside of each tuple. And just the Python magic, I think, is the best way to explain this. It's going to do this. Cool. Anyways, long way of getting there. Because really that gives us the answer. Oh, I went down too far. Let's go down to here. And this is where I'm going to do list comprehension. I could just make a list and like add elements to it, but that's boring. Let's do this, and we're going to say 1 times 2. And then we need to, let's return this, and let's print this. And we should get the correct result. Let's see if that, I think that's right. Let's see if the tests agree. I didn't like those tests. I'm going to move on here in a second, but let's see. Interesting. It's just not working. Super common error. I see NumPy is not resolved up here. Okay, so that means I'm not in the correct version of Python. So I'm going to hit Control-Shift-P. I'd be hitting Command-Shift-P if I was on a Mac. Control-Shift-P. I need to type in Python. It's already popping up for me, but I'm going to select Python interpreter. I'm trying to type that in the text box up here, and then select this. And we need to check, I want to be running the interpreter that's in Anaconda. And I just see that NumPy is now recognized. So let's try and run these tests again. Still not going to work. Not sure why it's not recognizing these tests. Maybe you guys saw that I messed something up, but oh, we're still getting the same error. Okay, I'd probably have to reload this using Anaconda. I don't know. Sometimes these things are annoying. I'm going to stop there, though.